sound up a little bit because I can't hear you that.
We're sorted, mate.
We're good.
We are good. Who would have known that recording a podcast on the other side of the world would be so hard?
I know, not wrong. You're not wrong. Being a coach is easier.
Well, I don't know.
Let me,
Depends.
let me turn the volume up because I can't hear you very well. We're nearly there.
It might be my fucking this.
Okay, I'll put you up to the loudest now. Can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, you're sorted, mate.
Can you hear Marley?
Hello.
I can. The boss. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
How's the recovery going?
Yeah, I'm doing more now compared to what I was. So yeah, it's going good.
So what happened? Like, just give me a little lowdown. What happened?
Well, I was obviously out for 4 weeks with Osgood-Schlatters.
Yeah.
And then it was like my first or second training session back.
Yeah.
And I changed direction and my leg snapped.
Ooh. That's tasty. So
Brilliant. It wasn't even a tackle.
Yeah, that's usually the case though when it changing direction is usually where all the injuries occur. So you play for Saints Academy?
Yeah.
Southampton Saints. Under what, 14s?
Yeah, under 14s.
Wicked. So what's the recovery protocol? What have you been doing to get her all tip shape?
Yeah, there's four like sections, and the first one was kind of getting me off my brace.
Mm-hmm.
So that was hydrotherapy using the Ultra G.
Yeah.
And just like leg-based recovery, so just like complex and icing and stuff.
Oh wow! And they have all that equipment sort of available for you at Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's some money in that equipment, you know.
Yeah, very lucky, really good.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. It's one of the best football academies in the UK, though, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so they say they produce a lot of talent from the Saints FC, but they also back the kids as well, you know. So it's good. Really good.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's something that like youth sport is definitely or should be definitely on the rise in the UK.
Yeah, especially for females.
Especially for females, yeah. Like football is getting pretty big in the UK now, isn't it? For the ladies.
It certainly is. Getting a good following, not just for playing it, but also there's a lot more of fan base now as well. So
which is good.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, like I know the States have been ahead of the game with all the academy sort of stuff and the equipment and everything they give them. I know the Nike used to dish out a load of sponsorships and a kit and all that sort of stuff for high schools. So it'd be really cool to see where the UK scene goes.
Yeah, the USA were throwing a lot of money at it for a long time.
Yeah,
you know, a long time, and the women's game has always been a lot more advanced than the men's game over there.
Yeah.
And now the men's game's taken off.
Like men don't tend to play football or soccer over there, do they? It's either play basketball, you play American football, or that's about it.
At McDonald's.
Or work at McDonald's, yeah. I think that's called racism, so we can't say that.
Fair one. Fair.
Yeah, and I've heard the academy scene in all sports in like Australia's big.
Yeah, but they're I think like USA, they're very serious about it. You know, like very competitive, very serious.
Yeah,
we were just watching a minute ago the USA versus England World Cup semi-final where they got beat in this World Cup and it's just gone. And that winning edge was their mentality. They were all talking about it. The England team were talking about it and saying how the USA, their winning mentality and kind of win at all costs, you know, that made a big difference.
Yeah, massively. But I think that's instilled from a young age, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
That just discipline and dedication to hard work, really. And yeah, I'd like to go over to Australia and see what their scene's like, just in sport, not my like football or rugby or anything, just in sport in general.
What's it like in New Zealand?
It seems like if you don't play rugby, you don't play sport.
Oh, really?
Like there is a lot of there's a lot of rugby teams around and whatever, but there's the kids are a lot more active. There's a lot more opportunities. Obviously, they have the weather. The weather's a lot better. The parks are a lot better looked after, so there's a lot more opportunity for them to play sport.
Yeah.
But I don't think funding from the top is as much as it can be.
Right.
Although I do know that some sports like Olympic weightlifting over here, that's better funded than the UK. The UK based.
Isn't CrossFit a big thing over in New Zealand, Australia?
Australia, it's massive.
With
Obviously,
Mia Toom, she was the lady that just won it for the last 3 years, isn't she?
There you go, mate. There you go. So that's obviously going to kick off a sort of spark in that scene in Oz. But over here, it's more of the grassroots sort of stuff, like back down to basics. There's not many people that are pushing the boundaries of the sport, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's cool to see when it's back down to the methodology and just people just working out.
All sounds good. How's your working out going anyway? Are you well?
How's the what?
How's your working out going?
Yeah, it's going well, man. I mean, I managed to get in. Well, I'm there 5, 6 maybe times a week, getting in some sessions. So it's good.
Man.
It's training. I'm on a actual program. I wasn't on a program for ages. Just sort of dicking around, and obviously like finishing up in Southampton, moving home, coming over here. It was a big change, and it just sort of threw a spanner in the works. So I'm finally back on a program, which is actually really nice. So I don't have to like think about anything. I can just go in and work hard.
Yeah. Are you seeing the results of that?
It's been 2 weeks.
Bit early days for that.
Bit early days, mate. Yeah, but I'm feeling good on it. It's less CrossFit. Well, to be honest, it's just a weightlifting program. So, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that scene. Hopefully, get into some like weightlifting and powerlifting in this next year.
Good man. I see you doing your bench press. A little video of that.
Wow, you can't let my little brother beat me, eh?
What did you bench?
That was 120.
Well, that's my max. That is max 1 rep 120.
Yeah, that was only 120. That's fine.
I done that when I was 30 years old, mate. 8 years ago, that was.
Beautiful.
120, 8 years ago. Yeah, for max.
You look like you're aging backwards.
Thanks, mate. Do I need some ID for this chat?
Yeah, I think you do, mate. Yeah. No, it's not that type of podcast, mate.
No, fair one. What are you talking about?
How's business going, man? Like what business you own and all that sort of stuff, and what do you do?
Yeah, well, Team Spirit's going brilliant. You know, it's we're now February will be 8 years this year. So 8 years of working with Team Spirit. Set it up 8 years ago with Marley, this girl here, my girl. She is, yeah. And like I say, it's been tough getting through the 8 years because the amount of work you put into it and how hard that is, and the journey is lots of ups and downs, a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I think that's where you learn most is when you find the tough times.
Yeah.
But the business itself is going fantastic. We're still delivering to 5,000 kids a week. The coaches
awesome.
are improving because it isn't just about the children; it's also about working with the coaches as well. Try and upskill them all the time. You can never rest on your laurels, can you?
That's beautiful. That's something that I've not seen within the industry in many places. I've seen it in a few places, but not in many places. When you try and invest in your coaches, because it's tough because your coaches come and go.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you invest in them and they get better, then the whole industry gets better.
Yeah, I think it's one of those
mutual growth.
Yeah, if you buy into the coach and you support the coach on their journey, it's only going to make the business more successful anyway. So you've got to put a lot of time and effort into them.
Yeah.
So that's worked really well, and I've concentrated a lot on that this year of doing a lot more planning and working with them rather than just delivery myself.
So how do you do that? Do you do like workshop days? Do you just sort of shadow them? Do you send them some shit? Do they study? What is it?
Basically, workshop days where they all come in and I deliver a program for them, and they have to go and then deliver that themselves. However, I do a lot of cross assessment or self assessment where I'll go and watch a session, do a review for them, and then afterwards ask them like kind of how they thought that went. And I think self-reflection is the most important thing for them, because
Yeah.
you might think a session goes really, really well, but actually have the children got out of it what you want them to get out of it? Have they enjoyed the session? Are they taking the key points? But ultimately, have you enjoyed it? I think as a coach, I think yourself as a CrossFit coach, fitness coach, if you enjoy it, others enjoy it as well. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you've got
yeah.
to
They
make
feed
sure.
off that energy.
Of course they do. So if you enjoy a session, you reflect on that, you can really get a lot out of that. So we do a review at the end and bit of Q&A, find out what they felt went well, when they could improve on, and I give them some hints and tips on my ideas and kind of the ethos behind the Team Spirit module. And for me, that's the most important thing, is the ethos. So at Team Spirit with the coaching, it's okay, delivering and working with children and helping them technically and physically, but for me, it's about having that ethos and work with them mentally and to support their needs. Every child learns differently. So can we work visually? Can we use our voice? Do we use command style? There's so many different styles you can use with a child. And it's also having the experience to select what child needs to be coached in a certain way.
Yeah.
So our ethos, TEANM, I know you know it, Alex, but I'll tell you about it again.
Oh,
T
do
is
it,
for
mate.
try,
Yeah.
E is for energy, A is for attitude, and M is for making new friends. And that's all about the child themselves, and it's about enjoy and achieve. If they enjoy something, they will achieve at the end of it, and that's the most important goal.
Yeah,
If we
that's
can get
beautiful.
children into sport or fitness to enjoy it, we've done our job. They can be confident in going into a playground or out of school to actually join in and feel comfortable
Yeah.
with other people.
I
Even
think you
little things
just,
like handshakes.
I
When you
think
meet a
you
person,
genuinely, yeah, go on.
you've got to shake their hand real nice and firm, make good eye contact, be confident. And that's something I taught my daughter Marley, and she's well known for her handshake.
Yeah.
When you see her next, Alex, make sure you give her a good handshake. She will break that hand. But those little things make a difference, because that's what it's all about. It's about creating a person. And the sport, in short, the sport is our tool to work with children. And that's why I love doing what I do. Every day I'm very lucky to do what I do. Working with kids, and it can be tough. Don't get me wrong. There's some tough days
Yeah.
because kids, can be tough.
They can be indeed, yeah. And they're
But
tricky.
they're going through, they're going through a lot of different phases. When you work with infants to juniors to secondary school, they're going through different phases of their lives as well. And you don't know what they've had for breakfast. You don't know what happened at home wherever they are. So it's what you can give to them. And I always say to my staff that you might have a child for 1 hour, but for that 1 hour, you've got an opportunity to make a difference to them. Whether it's giving them a high five, making them feel special, commenting on their trainers or their t-shirt or a new haircut. We always use first names or nicknames. When that child comes out, you can make them feel 10 foot tall. And making that child feel 10 foot tall will help them be the best that they can be or whatever they're doing. And that's what it's all about.
That's so true.
You can break down the skill processes, the structure, the terminology. But if that child hasn't got the confidence to try it, they're not even going to attempt it.
I
So
think
what can we do different to make them do that, to help them do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head because I say this all the time, and it kind of gets portrayed within the adult scene, but it's so true within the child scene as well. Like we use the medium of fitness to help your life or help your life outside of the gym, help your life outside of the
Exactly.
playground. Like we
Yeah.
just like it's so like overlooked the stuff you do in the gym or sport or some physical activity. People just look at it as, oh, you're getting fit and healthy, you're trying to lose weight, get bigger or whatever. But nah. It's all the benefits you get psychologically from doing that. And like you said, you are building a person.
100%. And I think the easiest way to explain it is it's a transferable skill. So whatever they learn
Yes.
within sport, that can be taken for a child, for example, that can be taken to the classroom. That
Hmm.
can be taken home with them. That
Hmm.
can be taken to town when they go out with a group of friends.
Hmm.
Respect, responsibility. So it's about trying to use that sport as a tool just to make a difference. And I think I'm very lucky to have the opportunity for the last 8 years,
Yeah.
full time, running my own business, to do that. And it started 8 years ago with only 7 children that turned up, and
Yeah.
7 kids turned up for my first ever session. My kid being one of them,
Yeah.
and it's just built and built. And people say that you can give up at a first attempt or a second attempt, but you just got to keep going,
Yeah,
And
mate.
it's about hard work, and that's what I'm most proud of is that journey from day one of 7 kids to now
Hmm.
5,000 kids a week, 16 coaches that are delivering the ethos, not just quality coaching, but that team ethos, and about working with a child to be the best that they can be. I'm one of the most competitive people. You know me. I'm very competitive. When we play pool, I like to win at pool or bowling or table tennis.
Yeah.
But the big thing in schools is the winning, the losing, the participation medals. And at Team Spirit, I like to make sure children understand the word lose, making sure it's fair, but also they have to understand that when you win with pride, show respect. And if you lose, if you've tried your best and that's all you can do, that's cool. We're happy, aren't we? Because you've tried your best. You didn't win this time, no problem.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a medal this time because you come sixth in a race, but that might hopefully drive you on to do better. Yeah. If they get a medal for coming sixth, what are we teaching?
What's the point of even trying? Exactly.
And if you can't get any better than that, that's okay. But learn to accept you're not going to get a medal this time. That's okay. Yeah. If my daughter takes a maths test and doesn't get an A, or gets a D, she won't get given an A, will she?
No, it's true.
She'll get a D because that's what she deserves at that moment in time. She's got to work harder at maths. But
I think we all do.
Me, that's really important, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So important. And something I try to instill in everyone, even my own children, is the winning and losing, understanding it, dealing with it. And I think you'll agree, you learn more from your losses than you do your wins.
Massively, man. Like, success basically just shows you which door to open, and it was like that was the right door, the right path you chose, But if you don't learn from it, you're just like, oh, okay, I did it. All right, what do I learn from it? Oh, pretty much nothing. Okay, well, now I've been presented with another 10 doors, and I have to go down 9 of them which are wrong, and sort of find out.
That one door you open, isn't it? 9 times out of 10, it won't be the right door first, will it?
Oh, fuck no, mate.
You know what I mean? You got to go through a lot of those doors. You have to. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, like you said, with the roller coaster, I just have the analogy of a wave. Just got to ride the wave. Like, you're going to have peaks and you're going to have troughs. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes 100%. Up, it's good. You got to be able to ride that wave, and then when it goes down, you've got to be able to somehow survive and swim and get yourself back up to the top of the wave. And it's I don't know, it's tough sometimes, like, especially like trying to run your own business. But like you said, like, the things you get back, you're genuinely impacting 5,000 kids' lives every single week.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that's, when I first started, I never anticipated that would ever happen. But you start small and you just build slowly, and then, if you work hard enough, then things work for you. Something that we talk about a lot with the children in class is how there are never problems in front of you. There are only solutions. You can either look for a problem and go, "Well, that's a problem there." Well, oh yeah, but what if I can't do it? But spend your time looking for the solution. Use your energy to find out how I can problem solve that. Rather than worry about it being a problem. What's the solution? What can I do to get over that problem?
Yeah,
that's really important.
Something that I've always admired from yourself, mate, is 1, your energy, and 2, your mindset. Like, you've always, like, it literally ties in perfectly with that last point, is you always look for the solution. You don't look at, oh shit, that's a problem, or this is a mistake, or whatever. You always go, okay, where's the positive in this, or where's the solution in this? And the energy you bring, man. So I wonder, where's that come from? What makes you do that? Yeah. What makes Darrent Curtis the man he is?
Wow, man, that's a big question. You could have let me know about this one.
Well, I want it off the back, I want the God honest truth.
To be fair, I
was it your upbringing? Was it a traumatic experience? Was it your missus? Was it like you've gone down the wrong? Was it you've gone down the wrong path, or you like what is it? Man?
The biggest thing I ever learned from was, I was a young kid and my dad was fantastic to me, looked after me, and because he was a single parent, because my mum passed when I was very young, when I was 10. I feel as though the effect that had on me is more than what I think. And I think about that every single day. And I think if you don't go through pain, if you don't go through those tough situations and learn how to deal with them, then you haven't got that experience to move on. So the best way I can describe it is those moments when I was 10 years old when my mother passed away. I don't want to get emotional here, but that was the worst moment of my life. Whereas right now, sat here talking to you, I can probably tell you in a really sick kind of way, that worst moment was probably the moment that taught me the most. I don't want to say it's now the most positive moment in my life, but I use that moment more than anything I've ever used. Every single day, I use that because of what I went through, the pain, and more importantly as well, my dad having to bring up four of us, four boys, in a house where he worked full time. We got left to do what we want, which he did in the 90s. And seeing how he brought me up and a lot of pain that he went through at that moment. Those toughest times were now times that they're actually my best times, believe it or not, because I wouldn't be here through that right now. It sounds a really sick way of looking at it, but if I didn't go through that right now or then I certainly would not be the man I am right now. That's for sure. I wouldn't be as driven. I wouldn't want to succeed. But also, I like to I've always liked to make a difference to people. I've liked to have fun and I don't know, be engaging. I always say that you only get out what you put in. So I'm in a conversation right now. I'm hoping that I'm putting a lot into this with a chat with yourself. I'm looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, man.
But you will get I'll get a lot out of it. I like talking to you. If I go to a party with a group of mates, if I stand in the corner and don't say nothing, what do I get out of it? Nothing.
True.
So you get out what you put in. So I feel as though I looked at how much effort my dad put in and what he got out of that. He passed away last year. And again, it made me look back on a lot of things. And he helped me a lot through team spirit. But I think just going back to your original question, I love to digress. Your original question, it is definitely, live for the moment. I've had a lot of bad things happen along the way since I was very young. When I was 18 years old, I got told I couldn't play football because I wasn't good enough. I was a footballer all my life. I played for Fulham Football Club as a YTS. Got told I got a 2-year deal, then got it taken away from me. They signed a new player, and I cried for an hour in the shower. And again, I look at that moment again. That's another moment where I look at it and go, you know what? That was right then. That was one of the worst moments of my life. My dream getting taken away from me. But I look back at it now and go, great, brilliant. I am what I am because of that moment. And I think those really bad moments, you can flip it on its head and go, yep, I can use that right now. Every day I can use that. And I tell Marley that now with a broken leg.
Yeah.
She broke her leg going back 12 weeks ago, maybe 13. And she's working so hard to get back to fitness. But right now, it's really not great. It's a tough time for her. In 3 years' time, when she's flying again, she will use this moment, look back on it and go, yeah, I learned more when I wasn't playing than when I am right now.
It's true, because when everything's going good, your head's in the clouds, you're on cloud 9, everything's going good. You don't sit back and actually think and watch the world go by and actually take things in. But when you are in that sort of that hole, or that your back is against the wall, then the only thing you've got to do is you've got to fight, mate. And
surely that's the best way to learn, isn't it? When you get put in the deep end.
Yeah.
Even if you don't survive that moment, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you can, next time you go through some trouble, you deal with it a little bit better. You might not survive it again, but then the next time, it might take 10, 11, 12 time to go through it. But then you get through it. But if someone's always there helping you all the time, you're not going to get through it, are you?
It's true, mate. It's true. I always give the analogy of me learning to swim. Everyone's like, oh yeah, how did you learn to swim? Because I was obviously a swimmer before I played rugby. I was like, oh yeah, my mum sat me down on the edge of the pool and she kicked me in. She was like, you're either going to sink or swim, son. Like, it's, obviously that's a little bit exaggerated. But it still stands. You're either going to sink or you're going to swim. You know what I mean? And I do find like those people that are actually very successful in what they do have had some sort of traumatic experience that has knocked them for 6.
Yeah.
And even if it's something like out of their control, or they've gone down a wrong path or whatever, but it's completely broken them, you know what I mean? Physically with the leg, or mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or whatever, financially, like, it's completely like knocked them for 6. And again, you've got one place to go. You know, when your back's against the wall, there's one place you can go, and that's forward.
100%. They say that about like professionals. So a professional footballer, let's say someone that lives in London that's not well off, but they can get by in life. Compare that to a Brazilian person living in the streets. I'm just picking Brazil out because it's a country where there can be positive poverty in areas.
Yeah.
If you're coming from the streets, okay, you are gonna fight every penny to get off the streets.
Yeah.
Compared to someone that lives in a normal home, loving family, that desire. Look at Wayne Rooney. He wasn't a Brazilian person on the streets, but he was someone that had a tough upbringing, and he was always playing football on the streets. That was well known. Look at Ronaldo, where he come from. You know, from the streets of Portugal. You can go through all these people, and it is these players that end up being the best in the world, not just good, but the best in the world. And a lot of them do come from poverty, and that's because they've got to fight to get out.
So true, man.
And Anthony Joshua. You know, another one is the list is endless.
Yeah, what was it? He had he basically had a decision. He could either follow the boxing route or he could go down the drug route, and he chose the boxing route. You know.
I wonder how many times he chose the wrong door though to get there.
Oh mate.
Huh? We never know. We won't tell us. We never know. But
if I had a penny
sure
every
his
time
young
I
age,
made a wrong,
you know, through that young age, he's never made those.
Definitely, mate. I mean, if I know for a fact with me, I don't know about you, but if I had a penny every time I chose the wrong door,
millionaire,
I'd be a very rich man right now.
If they made that a job, what, making wrong decisions, I'll tell you what, be minted, buddy. So talking about decisions, then, you know, your decision to go to New Zealand and obviously live a dream, which is I chose to try out and live my dream through coaching, you know, and that was a tough old thing to do, and I'm loving it. How are you getting on, mate?
It's very different, mate. It's very different. Obviously, we're on the other side of the fucking world. We're in the South Pacific. Like, it's not going to be the same as northwest of England.
No, nothing's the same with northwest of England. No offense, by the way, everyone.
I love that place, man. Like, and I really struggled when I came down to Southampton, which is the south of the UK. Like, I really struggled to fit in and find my little groove. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the last maybe 6 months of the time I was there, I found my groove. It took me 2.5 years. Like, and there was a lot of time when there was a time where I had to live in a shed because I didn't have any rent money. There's a time I lived in my car. I've lived in gyms. Like, it was rough, man. And coming over here,
that is crazy, though, man. That is crazy, honestly. But to keep on going for like 2.5 years, again, you talk about mental strength, decision making, going through doors. Look at those doors you've gone through for those 2.5 years, and to get where you are now.
Trust me, like in the mix of it, I didn't feel like I was going through the doors or having mental strength. And to be honest with you, like, I think it kind of relates to yourself. I didn't have a parent pass away when I was younger, but I still wanted to give back to them, you know, and I wanted them to be proud of me. And I don't know. I think if I'd have retreated back home, whether I would have lived at home or not is regardless. I'd have retreated back to the northwest. I think I would have personally myself. I would have thought as a failure. So I just I stuck it out.
Yeah. So if you would have gone back within those 2.5 years, you would have felt, just by going back, you would have felt that had been a failure.
Yeah. So I was originally down, and I went to uni for about 2.5 months. And before you ask, no, I didn't party or anything like that. It was a pretty rough period in the timeline of this weird thing we call life. And anyway, I was absolutely piss broke. I couldn't afford to eat, so I had to go home, and I ended up working in 3 gyms, pulling 18-hour days some days, like saving up some money.
Mad. That's mad.
Yeah, I saved up about $4,000 and then moved back down south because I believe that's where the opportunities lay, and I learnt a lot in those 3 years. There was a lot more shit that was thrown my way, but I mean, name me a person that's not gone through hardship, you know. And I learnt a lot, and I don't know, I had this sort of 2-year period in my life, and I was thinking, well, I want to do I want to do something in this 2 years. I want to start something, and that's going to keep me in the northwest of England for at least 5 years, realistically. So I'm like, right, I've got this 2 year period, and fuck it, I'm going to throw my my CV here, there, and everywhere. And this opportunity came up for New Zealand, and I spoke to the lady about it, and she said she spotted me, and we came over, which was awesome. It's tough. Obviously, it's tough with being like over Christmas time, being away from friends and family. But I don't know. I've got a lot to learn in this place.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to learn about yourself, haven't you?
100%, yeah.
And
Well,
see a part of the world.
Every day you're putting yourself into situations that you do not know. New country, new people, new surroundings. You've done it once in Southampton. You're doing it again, believe it or not, on the other side of the world with a whole new culture. Although being down south might be a different culture to up north.
Very much so.
But, all for the good, of course.
I struggled, man. I really struggled when I came to Southampton. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a bad way for the best part of 2.5 years. Well, maybe 3 if you want to count the whole thing. Like, yeah, I struggled quite a bit, and but you've got to take those positives, and I learned a lot, and I sort of built a reputation for myself, and hopefully I can give back, and I can do the same on this part of the world as well, and see how life sort of goes on and the industry goes on over here, and there's things that I can learn and take back home.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's why I came to the CrossFit box anyway, because of Edgy, and spoke about yourself. And then I was taking my Frankie there, wasn't I, to CrossFit for the kids' CrossFit sessions.
Yep.
And then you done my physio with me, and you basically ripped me apart, ripped me to shreds.
You enjoyed
the pain
it.
level was definitely 10 out of 10, mate. It was definitely dead. But even then, though, it was just like the amount of the information and content that you had that helped me get back to my fitness was amazing, and the amount of effort you put into that, you're quite similar to me, where if you're going to do something, it's 100% or nothing. I've got quite an addictive personality. So, for example, every January I try something new. So, I've done a bit of rowing last year. So, January I'm doing 2 kilometre row every day. Just going to do 2K every day. I want to try and break 7 minutes. I don't think I will. I'm at 7:48. I was 7:29, but I want to try and break 7 minutes. But the point I'm making is, whatever you do, you're quite addictive about it, and you know the ins and outs of everything in your area, in your game. Even when you got the whiteboard to show me my muscles and what was going wrong, I couldn't learn by you talking to me. You recognise that I'm a visual learner straight away. So straight away, whiteboard up, this is what it is, and I got the information. I didn't get that with anyone else that I saw before you. So that, it just goes to show that you are an addict of the game with CrossFit, with fitness, and that I think shows in where you are now, in you following your journey. I think it's fantastic, mate. Honestly, it's really, really good. And we haven't known each other that long, but it's been fantastic. It really has been good.
I do believe like-minded individuals end up getting attracted towards each other, and
you are quite pretty.
Well, stop it. I've got a face for radio, that's why I do podcasts. No, I do believe that like-minded individuals end up sort of getting attracted together and stay together, and it's not the length of time that you know each other, it's also like the intensity of the relationship or the friendship or whatever you learn from each other. But I don't know, just going back to I definitely do have an addictive personality like yourself. I'm off the drink. I've quit the drink.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's not like I was ever an alcoholic or anything, but I was just like, you know what, I'm going to make that choice. And I feel good. I feel really good.
Is that because the beer's shit in New Zealand?
Well, it's not European beer, you know what I mean? And it's expensive. It's like $5 a pint.
That's the reason.
I tell a lie. It's $10 a pint.
Wow.
So that's
I'm also going to go clean then.
Yeah, it's dirty. And I think those two. I've got sort of two things that I always say when people say, the ins and outs, or I gained whatever. And I think it's one, I surround myself with as much research as I can. Like my Instagram page is literally full of me following like physios, coaches, PTs, business owners, and like I literally just surround myself with people that are like kicking ass of whatever they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, if that works for them, it might work for me. Oh, it doesn't work for me. Okay, cool. What's someone else doing or whatever? And
But
then
some people don't do that, Alex. Some people don't do that. They don't like to um, session share. So, for example, within the coaching sports business, it's really important that we share our sessions. We don't just keep them to ourselves. I'm going to share my ideas, not just to my staff, but I put them on my Twitter page. I give them to other coaches or other football teams or cricket teams to use. If you've got a good session, that's going to be good for everyone. If you know
exactly.
something good, then share the information. Why keep it?
The one thing that pisses me off in this industry the most is my way or the highway.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, okay, you've got to do it this way, or everything has to be taken this way, and there is no lenience. And it's just like, no, there's so many different people. Like you said, people learn in different ways. There's different information that comes out. There's different coaches out there. Like
Yeah,
things are going to be different. Naturally, are going to be different.
yeah.
And if it works, share it, like you said.
100%, 100%. And I think it's always good to self-reflect as well. So sometimes I might deliver a session and think, you know what, that could have gone a bit better maybe. And it's good to ask for other ideas from other people as well. I don't know everything. In fact, I don't know very much, but other people know a lot. So it's really good to talk and be able to listen to their ideas and go, I tell you what, yeah, that's great. I'm going to try that idea now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good to session share. And we've got a cloud with our company that I use. So everyone uploads all their session plans to the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
All the coaches we've got can now session share, use the sessions and actually chat about them. It might be that I take a session off the cloud and go, that's great, but I might tweak it a little bit. You know,
That's
one
it.
session can turn into 4 or 5 or 45 different sessions.
But don't you think it's I don't know, it's you've got to be very open to new ideas, because
100%, yeah.
there are the people that are very egotistic and I'm the best, or they have a big ego and they think they're their mutts nuts, and
Yeah, I think,
they don't like tweaking things, and it's like, oh no, the way I do things is the best,
yeah, yeah, that can be very frustrating
very.
because, you know, you can't be set in your ways. You've got to be open to ideas, open-minded. And I think a lot of people have a lot of knowledge. So surely we want to touch on that and get as much knowledge as possible, you know.
Yeah.
And it's always about, you know, we're never the finished article. We're always upskilling ourselves, you know, and I really enjoy that side of it. I really enjoy listening. I'll take a coach on in December. He's just started coaching out of university. I've been coaching for years. I own the business. But I tell you, the first thing I said to him was, what ideas you got, mate?
Yeah.
What have you got?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you tell me. I said, no, you tell me. Give me some ideas. Have a chat. Open conversation. He was really surprised by that. And he was like, he thought I'd be told what to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to teach him about structure, session planning, our ethos, how to deliver, etc., etc. But a fresh mind coming in. Imagine how much information that he will have.
Mm.
And I think it's really good to be open-minded and like-minded and to get the best out of people. And that also then fulfills in him. He's got a bit of confidence in me, this guy. Okay, I've got some great ideas. Let's run with them. Rather than shut them down and go, right, no, you've got to do this. So
Well,
it's just being open-minded.
Creates a growth environment,
Yeah, growth mindset for sure.
Growth mindset, exactly. Was it Carol Dweck, that book Mindset? That's one of the best books I've ever read.
Did you write that one?
Yeah, my name's Carol Dweck, my
Weekends
author
only.
name. Weekends only, yeah.
I can picture you as a Carol with a K.
With a K.
Carol with a K. Weekends
beautiful.
only. Ginger wig.
Ginger wig. Well, I get a little bit of ginger in my beard.
Oh, fair one. Looks blonde for me. That's the sun.
Behave. I'm tanned. You know what I mean?
You got farmer lines. Have you tan lines?
I'm not blended into the wall behind me now, so it's
not looking too pasty, mate.
I don't camouflage myself with an A4 piece of paper anymore, so I think I'm doing all right. Anyway, I digress. What was I saying? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, about you being a Carol.
Yeah, if you oh, beautiful. If you if he came in right and you told him what to do and how to do it and whatever, then in my opinion, he's not a coach. He's an instructor.
I listened to your last podcast on that. And
that is, I think, one of my biggest pet peeves in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Coaches is like, I had a conversation with someone a while back, and it was like, coaching can never be professionalized because it's ever evolving, and the standards of coaching can't really be like written down and set in stone, which I agree on, because you need to be able to evolve and adapt and change for the people in front of you, change with the industry, change with the business, change with whatever. But then, if you basically if you hired me and you're like, Alex, I want you to take this session, it's going to be 30 minutes long, you're going to do it this way, that way, this way, and this is the plan, then you might as well put a robot there.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Like, I'm just reading and copying, you know.
So I can collaborate that to the sports coaching world. Though we've got different styles. So we've got a command style where I would stand there and tell the children do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to command you to do that, and that's what they do. You then got your Q&A. So I'm going to throw questions, talk to you about it, but let you answer those questions, maybe with a bit of help from me. And then you've got a bit of guided discovery, where actually they're going to seek and find it out for themselves with a bit of help from me. So they're actually doing their own research during the session. We're guiding them kind of to the answers without telling them. So we're coaching them, we're guiding them, we're giving them support on the skills and the techniques. We're not just saying go and throw a ball to each other and play bingo. We're actually breaking it down, but asking the question why. And I think the question why is one of the most important questions in coaching, because a child can tell you, well, I'm going to throw a ball. Why? I don't know. Just got told to throw it, mate. Do they know why they're doing it? Well, I'm going to sprint and change direction. Why? Well, to get away from the attack or the defender. So it's understanding why they're doing the movement. And in command style, they would never get that. So we introduced Q&A and guided discovery in the coaching world. It's been there for years and years, but I use that a lot because it really develops relationships as well. It's not being a robot like a command style, but we're now developing relationships. And I like to build all my coaching around attachment. As I attach ourselves to these children in a really positive way and go, actually, can I work with you? Can I help you? Can I support you? And then they start to trust you and actually really start to learn.
Yeah, that's so true. That is literally hit the nail on the head that's how you learn. Like, I can just remember playing rugby, and all the fitness side was very command driven. It was like, you're going to do this or I'm going to absolutely tear you a new one. It's just like, yes sir, no sir, 3 times full sir sort of thing. But when it came to all the game based practice, there was a lot of questions thrown around. It's like, all right, what would you do? And then it's like, maybe we'd try this. You're like, okay, try it. And he'd just kick the ball in, and you'd basically do the move or do the play, and it'd be like, okay, did it work? Well, it kind of worked, but it left a lot of holes in the defense or whatever. And it's like, all right, cool. We're going to go back and we're going to try a different one.
Well, that's fantastic, because they're now being inquisitive. So you're now developing problem solvers rather than just people that say yes or no, I don't know why I'm doing it. They never know the why. So we're actually developing problem solvers.
That's all sport is, right? Problem solving. Like, all the things that occur in front of you in sport, it doesn't matter what game it is literally just figuring out and problem solving from the opposition, trying to outwit your opponent and figure it out mentally. Like, we had a saying from our coach, my first ever coach, called Mr. Atherton, like an absolute legend, must have been about 4'5", like could still absolutely nail you, and he was about 75 back in the day. And I think he's still teaching at the school. Brilliant. Anyway, he had a saying you don't win rugby games by how big or strong you are. You win rugby games through the top 2 inches, and that's through your head.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like problem solving and your mindset towards it. And like you said before, that will go outside of the pitch or off the pitch.
Transferable skills we spoke about earlier. So that's a transferable skill straight away, isn't it? You take your problem solving within coaching, develop a child, Q&A, guided discovery. They're having input. They feel confident to talk about it and problem solve it. You get out into the big bad world, they got to problem solve situations, bob and weave a little bit,
That's it, mate. Bob and weave a little bit.
We've all bobbed and weaved so much, mate. Trust me.
Yeah. sometimes not in the right direction. We take a couple hits, you know, and that's when you're gonna have to ride that wave.
I won't go on too much about my boxing match. I don't want to talk about it too much that I had. So
Go
I've
on,
done
lad.
talking about bobbing and weaving. I thought I'd slot that in there. So I do my cross and my jab cross. So we've done that. We raised money for cancer. And I work in the hospital ward. I do some Lego-tastic sessions with children. So we work team spirit work in the hospital in the children's ward. Called Pie and Brown, and we raise money for cancer through a boxing match called ultra white collar boxing. So I decided to give that a go, and really good intense training. Got a few injuries through it, as in pulled muscles and a few little black eyes. But yeah, just that whole experience was fantastic, and I've done a lot of bobbing and weaving in that, mate. Yeah, it was good, really good.
That's it. Problem solving.
I lost.
You lost?
No, I didn't. Of course I didn't.
Good man.
No,
I was going to say, get back in the ring.
Yeah. No. To be fair, mate, it was a fantastic fight. He's a 21-year-old young lad, really good, nice guy actually. But just the whole experience, mate, was just incredible. It really was a good journey, and it took me. And again, another one of my little sayings is, it took me out of my comfort zone massively. And you got to get comfortable at being uncomfortable. Yeah. The more times you put yourself through that situation, that scenario, the better you're going to become. And I think the first time I got in that ring was crazy. I mean, sparring session, I didn't know what sparring was. I just went mental for 30 seconds, like a windmill. But then you learn as you go, and I ended up going in the ring and doing windmills. It was great.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons, another reason why I came out here, and I took that opportunity. Like I was going to go home and sort of, start building things back home. And I know that's where I'm going to be. I know I will end up going back to Manchester or Lancashire, so the northwest of England. But at the end of the day, like, coming out here is massively throwing myself out of my comfort zone. And it's kind of like forced myself to learn. That's only going to be good lessons to then to go back with and start businesses with. To go back with and coach with, to go back with and pass on to my kids,
Yeah, for sure.
And throwing yourself into like an uncomfortable environment is.
Well, you've gone out on your own as well, though. Alex. That you cannot underestimate that, man. You've gone out there on your own. It isn't as though you've gone out with a buddy backpacking, right?
I didn't.
Well, you went with you. I know. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
To have someone to talk to on a work level, it's tough to do, mate. People go backpacking together in groups and things, and they have a lot of banter, and that they can have bad days, but bounce off each other. And that's a really tough thing to do. Really tough thing to do, mate.
It's but I mean, name me someone who's not been through hardship,
Exactly.
Like it's not going through hardship. It doesn't make you special.
No, it doesn't.
It just makes you more of a robust human. Harder to kill.
A robust Carol.
Robust Carol, yeah. So just like, how did you set up your business?
What
did you do, man?
It certainly wasn't my first job. I went through a lot of jobs, a lot of doors to get.
A lot of doors, mate.
Yeah, a lot of doors.
Got it.
So I started coaching when I was 18, and then after 2 or 3 years, I actually went into a state agency. I'd done that for a few years, and I set up my own one. And then I actually played poker for a little while. Done that for a year full time. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, good experience. With the support of my loving wife, who was very supportive of me, which is good. So I was having a tough time. Took a bit of a break, and I played poker on the side just to fund the bills and things. So it was more of a year off, really. And then, to be fair, I've always wanted to run my own business and work for myself. And when Marley come along, I was working long hours. I wasn't seeing my little girl very much, and I thought, at some point I want to make a decision, and I want to try and set up a sports company. And she was about 18. You were 6 or 7, and my second girl was 18 months or so. Frankie just been born. And Marley was going to coaching sessions, and she wasn't really enjoying them. And we were talking about what can we do different to let you enjoy your coaching session. So we spoke about the word team and the ethos, and Marley came up with a lot of the ideas of TEAM. And as a 6, 7-year-old, that's quite a good thing to come up with. So we stuck with the word team spirit. And I said, I'm going to do it. Let's go for it. So I got a brand developed. I put some flyers out around the schools. Turned up one Saturday morning for my first football session. I had 7 kids turn up, and it was like, okay, this is a start.
So you just
week
did it,
2,
you know, like.
Yeah, week 2, 9 kids. Week 3, 11 kids. And I just started with like a Saturday football class, and that was it, just 1 hour a week. And I had myself funded so I could probably last 6 months just by doing smaller sessions. I built the business. And then I went to a few schools, and I said I'd coach for free. So I'd done 3 after school clubs, 3 PE lessons for about 3 months. And just really getting the name out there, getting the brand out there. But what I pushed more than anything was my ethos of TEAM. I say our ethos. And in the assemblies I'd done, all the meetings with the head teachers and all the parents I was speaking to, the one thing that stood out between any other company was the team ethos and how it was all about the child, not just a sport. The sport is the tool to work with the child. And that really stood out a lot. And that's kind of that was my USP, my unique selling product or point. And I'm really proud of that. And that means more to me than any sport or anything, which is just working with the kids and just having that ethos to work with them. So after getting my first school on board, word spread, and then one school turned to 2 schools. And when I say school, I mean we do PE lessons, after school club, lunch clubs, breakfast clubs. And the business went from being more of a safety net, more of a social business, just to keep me going. It actually grew and grew and grew to now a fully fledged working company with 5,000 kids a week. And it's crazy how it developed so quickly. It just snowballed. And I think the biggest problem when it snowballed is then managing quality control, the coaching. Is the quality still there? So I actually turned away a lot of business for 2 or 3 years because we weren't ready. And there's no point, I'd rather quality over quantity.
Yeah,
and I think you make that mistake by I get any coaching, they can look after a school. No. This coach needs to know our ethos. They need to know how we deliver. I want to get to know them. So it's got to be done right, especially when you're working with children in schools. It's so important to get it right. So that's how it started. And then it just kind of, I think best businesses grow by word of mouth. Didn't do too much marketing, set up a Facebook account for it, done some flyers. But apart from that, it was really, all word of mouth. Done loads of birthday parties for kids. That was fantastic. Loads of fun. I mean, I enjoy what I do, but I love it. I am so lucky to do what I do. I coach different sports all day, get to meet loads of different kids, have loads of fun, loads of high fives, a really positive vibe, positive atmosphere. And that's what I enjoy doing most, having a positive effect on children every day of the week. And it's great. And, we're 8 years down the line. I've got a new business partner now. I say new, been on board for a year with me, been working with me for 6 years, but actually come on board as a part owner, which is really a big move for me. Took a lot of the stress off. We got an office now, and it's fantastic. And I feel really lucky to do what I do. As much as it was hard work to get there, it's great. I absolutely love it. I feel really lucky to do it every day.
That's amazing. Just starting off with the mindset of saying, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's got to do it.
This is a disservice in the industry, or I believe that I can do better, and you just sort of ran with it. And being able to say you'll work for free for like 3 months, that's massive. Yeah. And you kind of proving your worth,
Anyone can go in and sell something and pitch, okay? But when a teacher says, well, what do you do different? Let me show you. Visual aid. Going back to the same old coaching techniques. This is what I'm going to do. Let me deliver 3 months for you. Then we'll have a chat about it. I went and enjoyed it. And like I say, the best thing that I saw within those 3 months was children that weren't taking part in PE lessons or conduct themselves in sport were now joining in, not because it was PE, but because they enjoyed it. Yeah. And would always set up some fun sessions, give them lots of fun names, get the engagement there. And then once they're in the hook, they're loving it. And you got kids that weren't really into sport, and that was my again, something I'm really proud of, is getting kids into sport that maybe didn't want to do it before. Mm-hmm. So really happy with that.
That's it, man. And I hope you know that you have impacted these kids' lives for a long, long, long time.
I really hope so, because my PE teacher did with me, and I saw him not
Exactly.
long ago actually, and I told him that, and I told him how much of a positive effect he had on me. A lot of things that he helped me with through some tough times at school when my mum had passed when I was 10, and I hope. I think going back to your original question earlier, I really hope. I think that is something that also pushes me on. Hoping those kids in 20 years' time look back and go, "Remember Dazza, PE teacher? Yeah, remember Dazza? Yeah, it was cool." And my daughter goes to secondary school with all these kids that have gone up with her, and like she's not getting any grief from the kids. They're kind of it's quite like there's a lot of respect there because she's part of team spirit, and that can be quite uncool maybe for some people. Uncool to be the dad's daughter of the business that runs a coaching company, but it's actually pretty cool. So I'm really proud of that as well.
Yeah.
But
it
yeah,
definitely
mate,
does
it's
stay
wicked.
with you. Definitely does stay with you. Like, I owe a lot to my rugby coaches. They instilled a lot of hard work, dedication, discipline into me.
Yeah,
And even teachers inside the classroom, like the stuff that I'd learned on the pitch and in the weight room was just sort of transferred into the classroom,
brilliant.
and then things that I learned in the classroom transferred over into the pitch.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think it's just got a mutual benefit, and it's really sad when I see kids that aren't sort of working out, not necessarily working out, but just moving and not enjoying it. Like we're
yeah,
very much of a physical creature. Like we like moving. We are sort of built to move around. We're not
yeah.
built to just sit down and eat fucking Pop Tarts or whatever. Um, and I think I think you are making the change that we sort of need to see at
Yeah,
grassroots level. And I do think, I mean, fixing the youth is only going to be beneficial for the future.
100%. But you want to catch it at infant or junior level. So I've
Yep.
set up a lot of lunch clubs in the schools, and I've set up CrossFit challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So at lunchtime, there's a whiteboard, and I write on the whiteboard the WOD, workout of the day. I've taken what I've learned from CrossFit, transferable skill, put it into schools. All I do is write on the whiteboard while I'm doing 4 or 5 other activities, and there might be 10 air squats, 3 jumps, but 3 rounds for time. They time themselves, and they're loving it.
Mm.
And they're now out on the playground, running out to the whiteboard. What's today's WOD? I mean, 8, 9-year-olds doing that. I love the fact that they're out there buzzing to do it.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, if they're doing that, they're going to get to, 16, 17, 18, 26, 35 or whatever. And they don't think of working out as a chore. It's not
No.
working out. It's just movement.
Yeah, it's
It's
enjoyable as
just,
well, isn't it?
it's enjoyable. And it's like, they're going to get there and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this because I know the benefits it's given me as a kid. And I know the benefits it's given me mentally as well.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
think that's, I don't know, sort of working in the industry with adults a lot. I obviously work with the kids as well, but I work with the adults a lot, and you get people that have never worked out in their life,
Yeah.
never played a
Is that
sport,
because
never
they
done
haven't had
anything.
access to it because it wasn't natural to them? I don't know what there might be other reasons behind it, but I feel as though going back to what we just said, if we introduce it to them so early on in junior school or infant school, it is just natural, just like talking, just like walking. It becomes a natural part of their day. So we do also box fit at lunchtimes as well. And I've got the pads out and we let the kids put the gloves on. Let them knock each other out. No, I'm joking. We don't.
that'd
The
be
head
that'd be a
teacher's not
funny thing
happy.
to see.
But so we do the pads. We teach them some combinations. We talk about we're not doing boxing. We're doing box fit. This isn't to fight. If we see you fight in the playground, you don't do it. It's that simple. So can we work on your fitness, your boxing skills? And by the way, Sarah, I've seen you watch for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You haven't joined in. Do you want to give it a go today? No? Week 5. Do you want to give it a go? Okay, Dazza. Gets the gloves on, has a little go. By week 8 or 9, she's doing combinations. Someone that never wanted to put gloves on. Little Johnny that is there and maybe doesn't do much at playtime. He can now do WODs. He can now do box fit. He can now do archery we set up for him. So all these other avenues that are all sport related. Well, these are keeping the kids busy, letting them try something new. And if they can't do it, brilliant. Let's work on it. That's great. I don't expect you to pick the
Confidence,
glove up and box straight away.
yeah, confidence, self-esteem goes up, and even this is a topic that I mean, I'm not qualified to know anything about it, but I'm very, very fascinated. Is like child mental health.
Yeah.
And I do believe that like helping and making kids sort of move, well, not making them, obviously forcing them to do it, but giving them the
Giving them the
opportunity.
opportunity to do it, Alex. They're
Yeah,
giving them the opportunity to walk through that door. If the door isn't
exactly,
there, they can't walk through it, mate. Let's give
exactly.
them the opportunity. And I think
Rolling Stone.
the school have all the schools or the national curriculum now is they've got to do a mile a day in a lot of schools, golden mile. So they've got to walk or run a mile a day, which is really good. So the teachers get them out of class, get them moving around the playground, and that's now part of a lot of schools' day, which is fantastic. It's a natural part of the school now. Well, golden mile, right? Brilliant. Let's crack on. It's good, really good.
Yeah, small changes, but I do believe that if more companies like yourself sort of create these opportunities and allow those doors to be open for the kids to walk through, then hopefully the council and the government can get on board, and then you can
Yeah.
create a widespread
Don't
change.
get me started on that politics stuff. I tell you, I'll be here till
Mate,
the cows come home.
oh
Well,
mate,
you know, as a company, I don't want to stop. A rolling stone gathers no moss. We know that, Alex.
mhm.
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
Oh,
So all we want to do is keep going forward. But how are we going to do that? I don't want to stand still as a business. What's my next adventure? What else can I do with sport? But it does require funding, And I would love to set up sessions where they aren't even beneficial to us as a company, but just to offer them to certain people that maybe don't have access to it. But the funding just isn't there for it.
Like a big
You
one,
know,
for me is underprivileged and poor families. Like I
yeah,
was back home in Manny, like where I originally sort of grew up before we sort of moved out of the city. There was a lot of underprivileged families around, and a lot of them are on benefits and on the dole, and a lot of crime around and that. And these kids, you can look around and they don't have opportunities. It
no,
might not be there, granted, but even if it was, they can't afford it. They can't
yeah,
afford to go to extracurricular activities. They can't afford to join a sport club. And at the end of the day, like these kids could potentially be professional athletes because they could be a genetic freak.
yeah. A bit like Deontay Wilder.
There you go. But we know nothing about them, and they
Yeah.
they end up making wrong decisions because if you if you're given five doors to open and they're all wrong paths, you're going to end up choosing a wrong
Take
path.
one of them. Yeah, most
Exactly.
definitely. The schools offer like pupil premium now, where they get funding to give a child a club a year or two clubs a year, for example. And I think touch on the point we spoke about earlier. Whenever our coach sees a child, you've got 1 hour,
Mhm.
1 hour to make an impact. It
Yeah.
isn't just a coaching session, is it? I've got 1 hour
Well, it
to
isn't, is it?
impact on those
Exactly.
16 children or 10 children or 20 children.
Mm.
What can I do in that hour to support that child? And it might be just how you doing, Billy? You all right, mate? You look a day at school? How you getting on? That's all it might be. Or it might be a high five, or it might be, I can see Sally's quite upset coming out of school. Well, I'm going to go have a chat to her, see how she is.
That's
So
something that
you've got to go the extra mile, haven't you?
massively, mate, and that links to the like this industry. You can only ever sort of sustain being in this industry if you genuinely give a fuck about people,
100%.
genuinely care. Like if you strip
Yeah,
everything away, you lose everything, like money, like relationships, you name it. You strip everything away, and you still care about these people in front of you. Then you're the person that should be in the industry. You're the person that should be
yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
And yeah, we talk about that all the time within CrossFit classes and stuff like that. If you obviously there's good and bad gyms everywhere, granted, but if you get a good coach, you have an hour to make it the best hour of their day, and you might come in and spend a little bit more time before or after class. You
Yeah.
can see someone is not acting the same way as they would do. And obviously working with kids, that's even more difficult because they're going to act slightly different week to week, because they're going through a lot of
Yeah,
changes.
yeah,
But what I've found is like you give so much of yourself to these people, so much of yourself. You literally like take your own heart out and give it to them on a golden platter. How do you personally, not for your family, not for anything else, you, Mr. Darren, how do
Mhm.
you keep you okay?
Um, Good question.
Yeah.
I do like to self-reflect a lot. End of most days, I will self-reflect. I've
Mhm.
done that a lot more than last year. I felt as I definitely had to. Um, but I think you got to look around. I'm very lucky to actually work in the hospital. Spoke about it earlier. So I work in the Pie and Brown ward. the children that have the cancer. And it puts things in perspective, mate. It really, really does. And it doesn't really matter what's going on with my little world. There are a lot bigger things out there to worry about. And I think that puts things in perspective for me. I think with regards to self-motivation, keeping myself up for it every day at 100% to deliver to those standards. I think I just enjoy it. And if you enjoy your job, you will always deliver at that standard. If you want to do it, you will do it. And I love to do it. So if you go into work and we all have bad days, the game face goes on and you go and bounce off the kids. You go and enjoy it. How I manage myself, I'm quite lucky that I've got quite an outgoing family. We're always out of the house. We've got a little camper van we go out a lot in. I spend a lot of time in that. It might be that I go out for a night for myself in that and go. I do quite a lot of stargazing, and I find that quite relaxing, therapeutic. And also I watch my girls play football, which is great for me. Me and the missus, we do talk quite a lot in the evening. She's got quite a stressful job, so we talk a lot over a cocktail maybe sometimes. They're not very expensive in England. But family aside, friends aside, I suppose it's just a bit of self-reflection, mate. I don't really know. I don't think there's really an answer to that for me. I'm sorry, mate. I don't really know.
Oh, that's fine. I think you've answered it perfectly. You sort of talk to yourself and reflect with yourself and see where you're going and whether you like that sort of path you're taking. But you've also kept a lot of people around you that keep you stable, And I think that is a key point, is keeping those people around you, especially if you want to make a business, especially if you want to work in this fitness industry. Like, people think it's easy because you can work out whenever you want. It's easy because you can wear joggers. It's easy because you can take a lot of pictures of you looking good or whatever. And to be honest, when you work in the industry, you have less time to work out. When you work in the industry, you're probably more stressful than a 9 to 5. When you work in the industry, most of the time you might not know where your next paycheck's coming from. And whether it's going to be a small one or a big one. And you need to genuinely have those people around you that is going to be okay with whatever comes out with it.
Yeah.
Because they believe in you.
I think the kids as well, it doesn't matter what's happened in a day with me. I could have had something really bad go wrong at home, or I've had a tough session at the hospital. But when you go deliver a session, mate, the things kids say and do just make your day. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. It is unbelievable. Working with kids is very, very hard, but also I believe one of the most rewarding jobs there is. Yeah. And even in the session, just a kid coming up to you going, "High five, Dad, that was wicked," Or in class the other day they were doing a whiteboard and it was they were writing positive things about things with the school and my name was on there. And I've gone 10 feet tall. Do you know what I mean? And all of those, whether it's stress or, writing session plans or just general everyday stuff, going to work is my therapy, mate. It really is. I go to work and I work with these kids and I'm a kid that can't throw and catch, send and receive, teach them the cup catch or the claw catch. And on week 3, they're doing it. Dad, look at this. I can do 10 now. Buzzing. So I think that for me, going to work is my therapy, mate. I love it. And I say it before, I'll say it to the cows come home. I'm very lucky to have that opportunity to do it. And I will try to carry on doing it for as long as possible because I absolutely love it. And it isn't always great sessions because sometimes sessions are very tough and, kids are kids. But every single session, there is an absolute gold star moment where you think, love it. Or you get given a little picture by someone that, where maybe they have had a bit of a tough session and they write you a little note, not asked for by the teacher, but just because they felt as though they let you down a little bit. That's attachment, that's caring. And if you show passion and you show that to them, to adults or children, you'll make a difference to them and it will make a difference to you. That comes back to me tenfold, mate.
Just and like you said, you get what you put in, right?
100%. It goes back to the same old cliche. And I think even when I am, at home or and it's been a tough day, or I'm doing my emails at 9 at night, 10 at night, no problem. I've got football in the morning. I've got tennis in the morning. I've got rugby. Brilliant. I'm very lucky, very, very lucky. Although the weather doesn't help, mate. It's very cold a lot of the time. Got to wrap up warm in England, unlike you over there.
Oh, please. Like, I mean, yeah, we came over, and the first 3 weeks, I don't think I ever saw a cloud in the sky. It was
Amazing.
weird. And over Christmas, it was hot. It's hot over. Obviously, we're approaching summer,
How was
and it's
that?
gonna get
Because I imagine Christmas being hot wouldn't feel the same.
weird. You don't feel festive at all.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very strange. Especially, well, I mean, I think the massive thing is being miles away from home.
Yeah.
I think I googled it the other day. I was on Google Maps, and I'm like, I'm just shy of 12,000 miles away from home.
That's amazing, mate.
That is just
Merry Christmas.
genuinely like,
Oh.
yeah, that's nuts. 12,000 miles. It took us 3 days to get here.
That's
Because obviously the time difference as well.
Yeah.
Skips over a day, and it took us 25 hours on a plane. Like, it's nuts. You feel like, I don't know, like you say, it puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
You feel so insignificant being on the other side of the world, and just things just carry on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, my man, for sure.
But that's awesome, mate. I love hearing how passionate you are with what you do, man. That's very, very, very inspiring.
No, it's great, mate. And it's no, I don't really talk about it much. It's great to be able to talk to you about it, and have an open discussion about it, and talk about various ideas. And like I say, transferable skills. What you're doing, whether it's with adults or working with children, it's coaching, instructing, Q&A, all different styles, but we're all in it for the same thing. Can we make a positive difference to someone? That's it. Yeah. And I heard over New Year, 2020 is my year. 2020, that year. And I spoke to a lot of people. I'm like, well, don't worry about the year. You can't control the year, but what you can control is tomorrow. Make tomorrow great. That's it. That's the objective, isn't it? Let's make tomorrow great. And now if that's great, or if not, no problem. Let's go to the next day. But you can't make a year great by it being New Year. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be a party pooper, but that's all I heard is 2020 would be great. Actually think about what you're saying. Think about it. Tomorrow, make it great. And just take it one step at a time. My hero, Rocky Sylvester Stallone, once said, one punch at a time, one round at a time, one step at a time, in some sort of order. Not too sure what order it was. But he's, the greatest underdog story ever, in my opinion. Great movie, great guy. Met him as well, actually.
Wow.
But, it's just...
His story as well is amazing.
It is an incredible story. If you go ins and outs of it, it's incredible.
He had to sell his dog, didn't he?
Yeah.
He sold his dog for like $50 or something.
Yeah, and he bought it back as well.
And he bought it back for like 30 grand.
And they offered him like $50,000 to take the movie, but he said, "Well, I want to be Rocky," and everyone said no. They said, "No, we want an actor that can talk properly." That's what they said to him. And he said, "Right, sod you all. I'm going to make it myself." Rest is history. Yeah. He had to walk through so many doors to get to that one.
So many doors, mate.
So we go back to the same old cliches, don't we? Hey?
We do. That's because we're British.
So what time is it where you are now, anyway?
It is approaching dinner time, so it is 10 minutes to midday.
Wow. So we're 10 to 11 p.m. here.
Oh, so it is 13 hours.
Well, it is now. Yeah, it's 13 hours.
13 hours. It's nuts. Yeah. I'm in a different day, you know what I mean? I'm in the future here, Darren.
That is, how weird is that? So it's Saturday there?
Saturday here, mate, yeah.
It's Friday here.
That is weird.
That's weird.
I've been in 2020 13 hours more than you. It's weird.
Wow. Does that affect your date, like your birthday as well? Would you lose hours? Because it's a leap year this year. I'm now getting really confused. I've gone by side, look.
Well, technically, if I came over here and never left, I would have lost 13 hours of my life.
Oh man, how are you gonna get that back?
At the end of the day, your body's not like aged another 13 hours, you know.
No, fair one.
It's just the date.
Yeah, time is just a number, mate. It's what you make of it. Bada-boosh.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
But no, I've got a busy day tomorrow. So Frankie's got football training. Marley's got a main friend coming around. We've got a good session plan. Battle ropes.
Perfect.
With a bit of bench
Tomorrow
press.
great.
Huh?
Make tomorrow great.
Make tomorrow great, mate. Well, we can try. It doesn't always work out like that.
Tell you what, mate, that is so true. Like sometimes you throw shit at the wall and it doesn't stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just rolls down slowly, looking at you, laughing at you.
And then you've got to clean it up.
And then you got to clean it up.
Yeah. And then you got to go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like Carol. You got to clean up after Carol.
Oh, behave.
Oh, behave with you, Alex. It's watershed. It's watershed. We've got to do more of these, mate. We've got to pencil these in once a month, I reckon. Catch up, talk about what's been going on.
We'll do it. Episode. I'll name it. Featuring Darrent Curtis, number 1.
Yeah, I'll take that. I don't mind number 2 or 3. I don't need a number. It's okay. Honestly, I'll take anything. It's fine.
No.
Number 1 sounds good.
Because the next time it'll be number 2. You know.
Oh, okay. I do like a good number 2.
Satisfying, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is great, mate. And it's so good to catch up, my man. I'm so glad it's going well for you. I know it's not been easy, but you know what they say, mate. Open those doors, keep going, my man.
Yeah, man. Something's got to go your way soon. You know, you can only get dealt a bad hand so often, and then you're gonna have to get a good one.
100%. I think as well. I think we should have certain things that we can talk about away from coaching, because I quite like chatting over here. This is quite cool, isn't it? I quite like it.
Hey, do it, man. You got a topic you want to discuss some shit?
I'll have a topic. We take turns.
Take turns, fine.
Yeah, my topic next time will be magic.
Magic.
I've just set up my first magic club.
Wow.
No joke. Yeah, we've done our first, and it was our busiest club of the term.
Wow. Did you know?
We used ethos, tied it into magic. If you fail a magic trick, guess what you got to do? Try again. Tears for try. Mate, it's been so good, honestly. Magic
you ever
has
seen
been
Game
amazing.
of Thrones?
Huh?
You ever seen Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen that. No.
You haven't? Oh,
no.
It's gonna make a Game of Thrones reference. Anyway, you know.
Edit that bit.
The North. Oh, there's no editing here, man. It's just all in.
We're cracking on.
I'm Northern. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, the North is where the wildlings are at, and that's where all the magic is, mate.
Oh, I like it. Like it.
Yeah,
I can do. Do you want to see some magic? I know that you can't hear on the podcast, but do you want to see it? Look. Ready? Watch.
That is absolutely stunning.
That's insane, isn't it?
I can pull my thumb off as well.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I still can't do that one. I can't get my fingers in the right place to make my thumb disappear.
I used to. Fun fact. I used to do that with my little sisters, and they used to believe me.
Really?
But the thing is,
I got a knife and tried cutting my thumb off. It didn't work.
Oh.
But
I could back it up with some card tricks back in the day.
You know what? I am going to bring some magic that can be used on the podcast just by using my voice.
Wow.
I'll use that for the next one, yeah?
You are an amazing human being, Mr.
I'm
Curtis.
now building up anticipation for that.
You are. I'm anticipating. Never mind anyone else. Even if it's just me and my mum listening to it, you know what I mean? Like.
I hope Mam is ready. I hope she's ready for it, because this is going to be the bomb.
It's going to be the bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be the bomb. Right. They call me Dazza Houdini.
Dazza Houdini.
Or who don't he?
Oh, dear. I don't think they do, but we can give it a go.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Mate.
Thanks for that.
Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for your time, mate.
No, thank you. We'll do it at an inconvenient time for me next time, so it's more of a convenient time. To be fair,
mate, this is absolutely cool for me. No problem at all.
Oh, perfect.
Marley will probably be in bed, but she didn't give too much input today, did you, Marley? She just sat there and listened and laughed most of the time.
It's all right. It's all right.
We can review her rehab journey, maybe.
There we go. And it can be documented. Doing. You know what I mean?
You could do like a minute Marley.
Minute Marley.
Yeah. If I could do magic, I can make her leg better normally. Like.
Oh, hold on. Let me just. Is it working?
Mate, those hands are the ones that gave me lots of bruises on my back when you were massaging my back to get it right. The elbow, sorry. Oh, unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, but there's some magic in these hands. You know what I mean? Yeah, I even got, to be honest, I got exactly the same review from two other people. As soon as I arrived, they basically got treated and they had an injury, and they were like, they are brutal, but there's some magic in those hands.
Got to go for a bit of pain sometimes, mate.
Like, mate, it's northern hands, you know. They're one of a kind. You know what I mean? They're all
Bunch
rugged.
of bananas.
They're all rugged, calloused, like basically palms of a spade, but it works. Dear.
Nah, well, mate, it's awesome catching up, mate. Really, really appreciate your time, and thanks for the invite to come on. That was awesome, mate. I am gonna toddle off to bed because
you get some.
I've got early start in the morning, coaching in the morning. So I'm looking forward to that. And they've had Christmas off, so we've got some good fun games planned for them. It's only under 18, so lots of fun games for them to take part in, and then a game on Sunday. So lots to look forward to, mate.
Awesome, mate. Awesome.
Make tomorrow great.
Yes, sir. I'll make today great. I'm already in the day.
See
what I mean? Nah, I've got a feeling. I've generally got this feeling. I've got a fucking feeling that it's either going to be today or tomorrow, but something amazing is going to happen, mate. I've got this feeling.
I believe that.
I tell you, I'm northern, so I'm magic.
And you're going to make it happen.
It's going to be today or tomorrow. Something amazing is going to happen. I'm telling you.
All right, if it does mind, I'll let you know.
All right, mate.
Take care, Alex, mate. See you soon, pal. Appreciate it.
Take it
Legend. Bye-bye.